Hey, good morning. Jenny here with Safe Pro Glass. Safe Pro Glass in the Phoenix metro area. 480-400-2255 is my number. In Tucson, 520-226-8000. Now those two numbers will put you in touch with my team of sales reps. If you would like me personally to schedule your job, then just ask. Say, hey, I'd like Jenny to book that job for me. I love when customers do that. My reps will push the button, send you directly to this cell phone number here. I just don't give away my personal cell phone number anymore on YouTube's or social media for so many reasons. I thought it was time today to do another video on why I don't give rebates. The caveat to this being, let me put maybe some exclamation points or an asterisk here, that I did do a COVID rebate, and that is because one of my personal friends who was a school teacher whose husband was unemployed due to COVID called and booked a windshield and asked if I was doing any rebates. So I created that just for her, and I took a huge pay cut out of my personal commission to offer that COVID rebate for just a couple of weeks. So we do some isolated rebates once in a while and some other advertising, but that is not our MO, nor has it been for almost 30 years, and here's why. I bought my first windshield business when I was about a 20-year-old girl, and our first installers were my now ex-husband and my best friend and roommate in college's husband, so my college roommate, best friend's husband. And our two boys would be out in the heat in 109, 112, 115 degree days in parking lots cutting out windshields, 6 to 8 windshields a day they were doing. And they would come home at the end of the night just completely exhausted, covered in urethane. Sorry, this is so emotional for me. Covered in urethane. There were the occasional blade accidents where they'd have their thumb cut or something. And it was an exhausting job. Windshield replacement is not for the faint of heart. It is a very hot and very strength requiring job. These guys are really working out there. And we were all newlyweds, but we got to the point where we all wanted to buy houses. We were living in apartments and we were thinking of our first homes. And so my bestie and her husband came to us and asked for a raise. We went through our books and we didn't see any way that we could possibly give him a raise. Most of our hard costs were fixed. We couldn't pay less for glass. We couldn't pay less for advertising. We were already mobile working out of our house. It's not like we could pay any less. We didn't have a shop fee or anything that we could buy a cheaper, get a cheaper shop or whatever. We didn't see anywhere that we could wiggle anything to give him more. But as we looked through our books, we saw this huge number that was customer rebates. It was a huge percentage of our business. In fact, the customers usually made more money than our installers did. So there was one day that my bestie's husband did a particular job that took him a really long time. It was 2 or 3 hours out in this parking lot. And at the end of the job, he had a $150 check that he handed to the customer, who had sat in his office sipping his iced tea in the air conditioning while Nate was out in this parking lot for almost 3 hours cutting out this windshield. The guy got $150 for having his windshield done. Nate got $60 for doing it. Now, there is no other industry where the customer expects money just for being a customer. I don't go to the grocery store, spend $50 and say, now do I get a $200 rebate? I don't go to my doctor and say, I just dropped $2,000 on my physical, do I get $900 back? In fact, I go to my hairstylist, I tip her. I go to the restaurant, I tip them. I go to the gas station, I tip them. And yet in my industry, this has been pernicious for decades. And I always say, if I ever meet the guy who started the windshield rebate, I'm gonna slap him, and I will. So if you're out there, be afraid. I don't understand why I have to pay my customers. I appreciate your business. I'm grateful that you're loyal. I'm so thankful that you trust me with your vehicle, but I'm going to pay you for that loyalty with a great new windshield and a fabulous installer. I'm not gonna write out a check for you. That's just not something that I do. So we eliminated those rebates that day, and we're able to give Nate a raise, and they bought a house, and now 30 years later, yada yada, life is happy. But it became a real personal thing for me. I believe that our installers deserve to be paid generously for what they do. It is a hard job, and we want the best of the best working on your vehicle. So if you want a rebate, I'm not the girl for that. Here in Tucson, there's a company that's offering 2 cruises plus $150 cash back. I always get the ads for that company up in Phoenix that offers $450, and they show pictures of their customers with a big fake check and girls in bikinis around the vehicles. You're never going to see this girl in a bikini, and you're never going to see a $450 check. What you're going to see is a great installer who's generously paid for his job. You can watch my installer put in your windshield while you do your job, which you receive money for, and then I will pay him for doing his job, which is putting in your windshield. End of story. That's that. The story behind the lack of a rebate. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Everybody have a great day. Bye.